According to a report from the Vietnam's Ministry of Industry and Trade, in the first quarter of 2016, the export turnover of Vietnam was estimated at $37.9 billion, a year-on-year increase of 4.1%. In particular, import turnover reached $37.1 billion, a year-on-year decrease of 4.8%. Overall, in the first quarter, Vietnam saw a $0.8 billion trade surplus. Regarding export markets in the first quarter, the United States is the largest export market to Vietnam, with $7.9 billion, a year-on-year increase of 11.1%. The second is the EU, with a turnover of $7.5 billion, a year-on-year increase of 9.3%. Particularly, exports to ASEAN and Japan markets fell as compared to the same period last year. ASEAN reached $4.2 billion, a decrease of 9.9%. Japan reached $3.2 billion, down 0.4%. Many economic experts believe that the participation of Vietnam in ASEAN Economic Community as free trade agreements brings more opportunities and challenges in the field of export and import. This shows that the export enterprises of Vietnam also need more efforts in the future to achieve better results.
Greetings from Vietnam on VTC10 NetViet. Vietnam has signed a series of FTAs with other partners, including the TPP, AHK, and many others. Some are starting to take effect at the beginning of this year, 2016, and 2016 is seen as a potential year for Vietnamese exporters. So in today's program, we'll find out more about that. And the guest speaker in our program today is Mr. Koslowski, the Deputy Representative of the German Industry and Commerce. Thank you for joining our program today. In the first quarter of 2015, Vietnam's export value is nearly $40 billion, up 9.3% from the same period in 2015. So what can you say about this number?
Yeah, we think that this number clearly reflects Vietnam's new role as a manufacturing hub within the ASEAN regions. We today see many companies here in Vietnam, like let's say Samsung, who are using Vietnam as a hub to produce for the global market. We are also seeing that foreign invested enterprises make up about 70% of the export volume of Vietnam. Samsung alone, by the way, has about 20% of this export volume. So the Vietnamese government in the past years did a very good job into making Vietnam an attractive investment location. Many foreign companies today really like the easy startup process for companies, low corporate taxes, and also a quite smooth administrative process right now.
In recent years, Vietnam has signed a large number of FTAs with other partners, and some are starting to take effect at the beginning of this year, 2016. So, in your opinion, what are the opportunities and the challenges for the Vietnamese exporters?
Of course, for Vietnamese exporters, there's one focal challenge now when the free trade agreements come into effect. They suddenly, or more or less suddenly, have to face global competition with the gloves off. With all free trade agreements, you get an abolition of tariff rates. This, of course, makes Vietnamese products in the world market more competitive because you can sell them for a cheaper price.
So what about the trade opportunities between the Vietnamese and the German businesses? Can you share more with us about that?
Yeah. So in 2015, we had a combined trade volume of about $9 billion between Vietnam and Germany. Vietnam is on the advantage right now because Vietnam exported $5.7 billion to Germany and thus has a trade surplus. This is, of course, a very good thing. Vietnam is mainly exporting electronics to Germany, which is not that obvious if you think about it. But, of course, it's all of the phones that are produced here and tablet computers and so on that are now going from Vietnam to the world as a manufacturing hub. From the German side, it's mainly machinery and equipment that are being exported to Vietnam. This means Germany is kind of supplying the means for the Vietnamese companies to really build up their manufacturing prowess. Yeah? So it's machinery and equipment, chemicals, measuring equipment, yeah? Everything that you need to build up your production facilities.
2015 was a successful year for Vietnam's export value of wood and wood products, which reached $6.9 billion, a year-on-year increase of 10.74%. The majority of the furniture re-import markets of Vietnam are growing stronger. Specifically, exporting furniture to the US market in 2015 reached $2.64 billion, up 18.11%. Export to Japan reached $1.04 billion, up 9.51%. And export to the EU reached $764 million, up 3.91%. In 2016, many businesses said their orders were plentiful from the early days. Outstandingly, Bjoern Thành Wood Export Company's orders have been full until the end of quarter 3.
Những đơn hàng từ phía Trung Quốc, của khách hàng Mỹ, của khách hàng Hàn Quốc, của khách hàng Nhật Bản, đơn hàng mà khi rời Trung Quốc thì họ đến với các nước ASEAN, thì trong đó có Việt Nam, và đơn hàng của chúng tôi rất nhiều, kể cả ở xuất khẩu và kể cả tiêu dùng trong nội địa. Và trong lĩnh vực xuất khẩu thì chúng tôi nhận hàng đến tháng 9 năm 2016.
Gỗ cũng là cái nước mà sản phẩm của chúng ta đã xuất ra rất nhiều nước, nhưng mà bây giờ thị trường Nga cũng là thị trường chúng ta có cơ hội đưa hàng vào. Thì đây, tôi nghĩ đây là một cái cơ hội, đặc biệt trong năm 2016 thì hiệp định FTA giữa Việt Nam và Liên minh Kinh tế Á-Âu sẽ có hiệu lực. Và khi mà có hiệu lực thì một loạt các cái thuế của chúng ta sẽ giảm về 0%. Và khi giảm 0% chúng ta có nghĩa là có cái cơ hội cạnh tranh.
Apart from wood, fruits are also important export items of Vietnam. There are 60 countries and territories importing fruits from Vietnam. Longan is one of the exports which gained positive signals from the beginning of 2016. Economic experts have predicted that in 2016, exports of agriculture products, forestry and fisheries will have many opportunities to prosper.
Xã viên của hợp tác xã cũng đã xuất được sang Mỹ là trên 100 tấn. Còn đầu năm 2016 này thì có như hổm gà thì cũng xuất trung bình một tuần như khoảng 10 mấy tấn. Thì nói chung thì nhu cầu của các thị trường thì cũng nhiều doanh nghiệp về đây để nhu cầu mình để xuất sang nước ngoài. Thì mình thấy cái vấn đề cây nhãn thì rất khả quan, nên nói là cung quá cầu.
Due to increased market demand, improved product structure, expanded application of high technology, and promoted investment in agricultural enterprises, with the free trade agreements being signed and officially taking effect, Vietnam's export market will increasingly expand and bring high economic efficiency.
Vietnam has strengths in exporting some products including rice, seafood, and especially the timber industry, and some are exporting to the European countries. So what can you say about the general quality of those Vietnamese products?
Yeah. Yes, we also see that Vietnam is a major or traditional exporter of agricultural goods and goods from the primary sector. Producers of agricultural products, but maybe also of products in general, should be that they improve their branding and product quality, especially in the agricultural sector. Right now, I think we have problems with the shrimp exports in Vietnam because of a scandal. You can, of course, circumvent this through higher quality, and then Vietnam also faces, I can read it on newspaper every day, huge impacts from pricing fluctuations on the world markets for certain goods, and you also can circumvent this through bigger branding. Yeah. However, overall, Vietnam's export industry is not dependent on the agricultural sector anymore. We're seeing that you are big in electronics now, also textile. So this is clearly a sign that Vietnam moves away from being an agricultural society and into a modern industrialized economy.
It is said Vietnam's export product is not diversified. So, in your opinion, should Vietnam diversify its export products or should focus on some key sectors?
For Vietnam, of course, it's coming out of the agricultural sector. Has already mastered the textile sector. You're a big player now. And next thing is then metal processing. This is the stage where Vietnam is in right now. Then, of course, we have foreign companies now coming in, big electronics manufacturers who also set up shop here. So you are, of course, already in a phase where you really diversify your product range, but this is just a natural process that has to take time. We are convinced that, especially when it comes to the electronic sectors, you already have the OEMs in the country. Now the suppliers will follow. I think Samsung in Ho Chi Minh City already pledged that they will do 30% local sourcing. This is a sign that they will bring their suppliers with them, and this will also enhance or broaden the export portfolio of Vietnam.
The lack of information on laws and requirements from the partners affected a lot of Vietnamese exporters when conducting the transactions with the other partners in other countries. So, in your opinion, how should Vietnamese enterprises prepare themselves in the integration context?
However, we think this is first and foremost a strategic approach. So Vietnamese companies, when they go out into the international markets, it proves to be difficult to go into a very distant and, of course, far developed market like Germany. So what we propose is that Vietnamese companies first stretch out to neighboring countries here in the ASEAN region, also to China, because there you have similar regulatory issues, you have similar behaviors in business, in the business environment. And this is also, and as soon as you mastered these markets, you can then approach European countries too. Then, of course, we as German Industry and Commerce here in Vietnam, we have the goal to enhance bilateral trade relationships. So whenever Vietnamese companies have questions about doing business with German companies, about regulatory issues, they can...
And finally, what is your recommendation for the Vietnamese government in terms of supporting Vietnamese exporters to improve the productivity in the future?
We think that the Vietnamese government already did very good work in the field of export promotion. However, we see two fields where we still see room for improvement. One thing is financing for Vietnamese companies. Of course, if you want to export, especially to European countries, for example, you have to produce high quality goods, and you may be in a situation where you have to buy new and maybe expensive machinery. And then second thing is personnel. To be competitive, you have to have competent people working for you. Vietnam now is moving away from a labor-intensive economy to a knowledge-based economy. You also have to do this to escape the middle-income trap that might approach Vietnam in the coming years. German institutions like GIZ and also we ourselves are already supporting the Vietnamese government on these issues, and we are convinced that through highly skilled labor, Vietnam will be able to compete in the world markets in the future.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Koslowski, for joining our program today and for your meaningful sharings.
Yeah, thank you.
2016 is seen as a potential year for Vietnamese exporters. When many FTAs are starting to take effect, we believe Vietnamese exporters can find different ways in order to improve their productivity and to take full use of the FTAs. And that's all we have for today's program. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at shuangvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.